Cosmic Panic is easily one of the best games released on the VCS so far in 2024. Besides being the first and only local multiplayer party game released in Atari OS, it also works great with the classic joystick, and its inclusion of global VCS leaderboards makes the single-player part of the game fun too. Its biggest downside is that there are only 6 multiplayer minigames, so the party runs out pretty quickly, but that downside is balanced out by good single-player gameplay with things to unlock as well. Up to 4 players can play together across several different modes. Arcade mode is one life to live, last person standing, while party mode offers either a certain number of rounds in a game, or playing until a certain score is reached. I feel a 6-round multiplayer party game showcases Cosmic Panic the best, and playing each round for 1 minute for the best score kept the group from having to wait while others finished their game. There are also infinite and free play modes to play either a group of games or a singular game for as long as you'd like. All of the 6 included minigames are good enough, and which are best will depend a lot on personal preference. Portal Panic has you moving between 4 sections of the screen to avoid death energy that fills a quadrant randomly while you collect gems for tickets. Defense Panic has you blasting enemy ships while collecting gems that fill up the base at the center, which clears the screen from enemies once enough gems are gathered. Wormhole Panic is a bit like Tempest, where you blast enemies coming at you in a tunnel. There's a dive mechanic to avoid things along the ring. Run Panic is a typical run and collect minigame with enemies to avoid while a screen-filling blob gets closer and closer. Claw Panic has you competing to complete claw machines over and over with a rhythm game-like mechanic requiring you to hit the right inputs without a mistake. Finally, Asteroid Panic has you shooting enemies and dodging asteroids while flying through rings in a 3D perspective across a neon-style planet. So, we just got done playing some of Cosmic Panic, which is a party game for 2 people, the first party game on the Atari VCS. What do you think of the game?
That was pretty fun. I mean, some of the modes I don't like as much, but some of them I do. Just wish there are a lot more of them.
Yeah, it could definitely stand to have more than just 6 game types in your party game. Probably dozens, I would think. Although,
you'd want a bunch like Mario Party.
I found the classic joystick to be the best and most fun way to play Cosmic Panic, thanks to the mostly directional and 1 or 2 button gameplay. You can get good with a little practice. Doing well also gets you more tickets to spend in the prize store. There are dozens of achievement-like feats which earn you tickets as well. You'll use your acquired prizes in your private arcade, which is basically a customizable room for plushies, posters, beds, and arcade machines. Each of the 3 private arcade machines is its own single-player minigame. I never quite got the hang of Blob Punch, but you time your punches carefully to see how many bounces you can get. Jellycat's Adventure sees you defending a slowly scrolling blob by activating circular energy blasts around you as waves of enemies approach. Rescue Rabbit's a scrolling platformer where you have to grab friends while avoiding trees and other hazards. Each of the games adds a bit of fun, although they don't have local or global leaderboards, which is a shame. Purchasing beds from the prize store unlocks special Zen mode versions of Asteroid Panic, Claw Panic, and Portal Panic, where enemies are removed and you simply play for as long as you want. In Portal Panic, there's a black hole that you need to bounce blobs into rather than avoid quadrants. What was your favorite of the minigames?
Probably the defense one, or maybe that portaling one.
The asteroid defense one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, because you get to shoot and move and do things like that.
And
I also
boost.
liked the claw one pretty good. That was
the claw one was pretty fun.
Yeah, and then the one where you're in the 4 quadrants of your spaceships and you have to
I like that one too.
That one's pretty good, and that's a good party game, because the idea is, pretty much anyone can figure it out after one run through. None of the mini-games are particularly amazing, but they're all pretty good, and even the more frustrating games like Wormhole Panic get easier with a bit of repetition. Some of the biggest party games like Mario Party and You Don't Know Jack feature dozens of mini-games, putting Cosmic Panic to shame when it comes to longer-term appeal. But the total package here is easily worth a few party hours and some time working your way up the leaderboards. There's a strange bug I kept encountering where the sound effects were turned off by default, meaning only music played in the games, and I kept having to re-add sound effects through the options menu every time I booted up the game. Something to be aware of, especially since I found the experience to be better with both music and sound effects active. After a few tries, I appreciated the ability and the options to turn off the tutorial button prompts that start each game as well. Even if Cosmic Panic is just okay to pretty fun, its existence in the VCS at all is reason to celebrate. This is a unique game in the VCS store lineup, and it's a polished and complete experience. People who have played out Cosmic Panic who are looking for more party games should check out Air Console, the cloud streaming-based family game service available in the VCS. Cosmic Panic might be somewhat mediocre if it was just a multiplayer party game, but the full package of unlocks and leaderboards makes it a really fun time sink. Add in a great classic joystick experience and a low $10 price tag, and you've got one of the best VCS games of the year. As far as I can tell, this is the first and only game available by the two-person development team SumoShell BombFunk. As a first game especially, Cosmic Panic is a real win. Thanks for watching. I'll have more videos in the coming weeks, including the pun-based vertical shooter Popcorn Rocket and more. Liking helps spread the word about the channel, and subscribing gets these videos in your feed. Have fun!